Hello and welcome to episode 61 of Moms with Yarn. My name is Sharon. I'm known as Bronx Knitter One on Ravelry and Bronx Knitter on Instagram. Welcome! Today is Tuesday, August 1st, and I'm making this podcast quick on the heels of the last podcast, and I'm going to tell you why. But before I do, I want to say thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you for checking me out. And to my returning viewers, thank you for coming back. So the reason why this episode is coming so quick on the heels with the time constraint is because I'm doing another collaboration with Barb of the Flame and Fiber podcast. We're going to have a sweater cal together, and it is called The Spirit of Rhinebeck. And it's because even if you're not going to Rhinebeck, everybody wants to have a Rhinebeck sweater. In fact, I think they even wrote a book about it. But there's two rules. It starts on August 15th. It ends on October 15th. It has to be an adult sweater, and whips are allowed. You get an extra entry if you use your hand spun for all of or part of the sweater. That's it. I think the prize is going to be something like a pattern on Ravelry. I'll work that out, and I think that's it. But if you participated in the Tour de Fleece, you know you have a lot of hand spun by now, at least some to work with. Anyway, so get your pattern together, get your wool together, let's get it going. So now the other thing that is knitting related but not knitting is I received an email from a woman named, I think her name was Yulia. I can't remember. Let me see if her name is here. Her name is Yulia Datsenko, and she sent me an email saying that she wanted to, she read my blog and she wanted to send me some yarn so that I can test it out and blog about it. I told her I would. So she said she'd be sending me a package. I didn't have any idea what to expect, but when I opened my mailbox, this was in it. All the way from the UK. Love knitting. So I am opening this package. Whoa! This is Millamia, Sweden. Naturally soft merino, 100% virgin wool, 50 grams each, 136 yards. Wow! Let's see what the note says. It says, Millamia Naturally Soft Merino. This bag is so cute. And the colors are Storm, Putty Gray, and Berry. And this is them. This is purple. Gray. And putty. It looks white here, but it really isn't white. Oh my gosh, it is so soft. I could tell you what it reminds me of as soon as I think about what it is. But I'm going to work with it first and see if it's so. But thanks, Yulia. I love this bag. Anyhow, that was from Love Knitting. And I get 10% off my next order. I look forward to using that. So the last time I podcast, I was working on the Birch Sap Shawl by Jenny Feifel, I think her name is. I wrote it down. Jenny Feifel. And I used Knit Picks Chroma Fingering, which is this, in the Sandstone colorway. I failed to mention the name. Be nice if I held it right side up, huh? I don't know how much you can see. It is 70% wool, 30% nylon, 396 yards, 100 grams, and this is all that's left, less than half a ball, because this thing is all hollowed out. So I did finish the birch sap, and it looks like this. Isn't this wonderful how it stripes? So it starts off as a regular shawl, and then it binds off on one side, and it continues this way. And with all, I love feather and fan, but the tail end of it is just plain garter stitch. So I was a little bit disappointed. I should have maybe made some yarn overs or something just to spice up the end a little bit. But this sweater has not been blocked. And you can see it's already rather large. I wish I could show it to you all, but I can't. And even though it is horribly hot, this shawl goes way past my wingspan. What do you think? Love the design, love the pattern. I love anything that has waves. Love feather and fan. Love these colors. So I'm very happy. Told you it's hot. This shawl is sticking to my neck. But here it is, point to point. I love it. I would make another one of this. So I used a ball and a half. So about 400, 500, about 500 yards you need to make it the size that it's written for. So that was a good deal, and I'm happy. I'm gonna take this and block it today, and that'll take care of that. So I after the Tour de Fleece, I kind of had like a slump, and I didn't want to knit, didn't want to spin, didn't want to sit in my evil little spinning chair. And if I sit any place but in my spinning chair, I lose efficiency and I lose sensation in my rear end. So I took a break, and I was looking around for what pattern I wanted to make next. And I decided that I would make this Fiber Trends flower basket lace shawl and scarf. It's either a shawl or a scarf, depending on how much yarn you use. The pattern calls for you to use lace or fingering or sport or DK, and there's a different needle size requirement for each. So this pattern is by Evelyn Clark, and I happen to have some stash that's been hanging around my house since about 2005, and it is called Yarn Treehouse. It is this. Now, if I remember correctly, at one point I had 10 skeins of this hairy monster. This yarn is so hairy. It's 40% alpaca, 60% merino, 330 yards. So I have 3 balls of this, and it's sport weight. It's considered a sport weight. And so I decided that whatever size it takes to get rid of all 3 of these balls, that's the size shawl I'm going to make. So I got myself, since it's sport weight, I used the size 8 needle that it calls for. And I started the shawl. I did a little knitting today. And this is what I got. Now, I'm looking at this pattern and I can't see the design because it is so open. How far away do I have to be? And I cannot believe that it's going to look more like leaves or anything because the yarn is so stretched out. So I think I need to go down a needle size for this yarn. I think this is on the thin side of sport weight so that the design will show up. I personally am not seeing it. Now maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe I'm too close. I don't know. But I am not happy. And you know, when I'm not happy, my knitting is not going to be happy. And it's going to show. So you can kind of see it, but it really gets lost. This pattern really gets lost in these big open loopy spaces. So I'm going to rip this out. I'm going to go down a needle size so that I can look at it and see a design and not just see this open lacy nothingness. They don't look like leaves to me. So that's what that's going to be about. So last but certainly not least is I am going to spin a little. I'm not going to spin another 8 skeins in the month of August. It's not going to happen. It's too hot, it's too humid, and I don't think I could take the chair much longer. But I found some Gnomespun yarn, or the company is Gnomespun yarn, and this is 4 ounces of Polworth in the War of the Oaks colorway. And I really love these colors, but this yarn, or this fiber, I can tell is a little bit, it's soft, but it has a toothy hand. And I don't know how to explain it better than that. It's not, it could be, for some people, they might consider it a little bit rustic, a little bit rough. It has beautiful colors. And the person who runs this company isn't dyeing anymore. She's taken time off to be a grandma. And I don't blame her because that time is fleeting. But it has beautiful colors. So this is my last skein, or my last braid of Gnomespun. So I can't get any more. So I'm going to spin it up. And I'm going to see how it turns out. And instead of the pattern, if you want to swap it out for this yarn that this is going to become, then we'll see if we can negotiate. You'd probably rather have the pattern because I don't know what this yarn is going to look like, what yardage you're going to get, or if you're even going to want it when it's done. But I love all the colors in here. And from another person who's no longer dyeing yarn or fiber is Creatively Dyed. So I found this braid in the cabinet. It is 70% wool, 30% sea cell, 8 ounces, and the color is Sandbanks. There we go. It is golden browns, honey colored. and it looks like this. So there's a little bit of blue and yellow and gray. It's really pretty. So those are my next spins, and 8 ounces is going to take me forever, but I'm going to do it because I am inspired by how much space I gained in my fiber cabinet. I mean, the door mostly closes and something almost always still falls out, but it's not as bad. So these are going to be my next 2 spins. I think I see a brown, green, blue theme to my fibers. I think they all are the same color in varying tones and shades. So that's going to be my next spin. So that's basically it. A shawl I finished. A shawl I have to begin again. Some spinning, some yarn in the mail, and a collaboration with Barb for the Rhinebeck, the Spirit of Rhinebeck Cal. So if you have any questions about what's going on, because by the time you see this video, the thread will already be up in the room. It'll be locked. It'll be opened on August 15th, but it'll be there. And if you want, why don't you post a picture of the sweater that you're doing? Maybe I'll change my mind about the sweater I'm doing. So let me know. Until I see you again, happy knitting.